Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Coach Carlos Stutzer, and today we are going to review um, five keys to quality sleep. This is one of the documents in my Foundry resource library that is provided to all online clients that join the Foundry Method program. As you can see on screen, there's a multitude of different documents in here that I've created that I find to be helpful for clients. Um, and I like to go through and make a video kind of doing a reaction slash deeper dive into the content that is listed here in these PDFs. So that's what you are seeing here today. And with that being said, let's jump right into 5 keys to quality sleep. All right. So 5 keys to a good night's sleep. What you should know. So, number one is sleep duration. Most people in the world have heard the recommendation of 7 to 9 hours of sleep, and that's generally applied to most people. I have seen that number be pushed to 10 to 12 hours of sleep for athletes, especially young athletes. And then, we see as people get older into their elderly ages that sleep need drop down a little bit closer to 5 or 6 uh, hours, and within that range of 5 to 6 to 8 hours, right? But here we have listed the average adult needs around 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night for optimal functioning. However, individual sleep needs can vary. And all this means is you have to pay attention to how you're feeling when you wake up. Number one, are you groggy? Are you feeling super groggy, brain's groggy, super slow to start functioning? Does it take you, multiple cups of coffee to get going and to be able to clear your brain of this fog? Or do you feel energized, within 10 minutes of waking up and ready to attack the day? Are we feeling like we're hitting a crash early in the day at 11, 12, or 1? Or are we sustaining energy throughout the day? Um, Paying attention to recovery. If you're training really hard, how's the body recovering? Is it taking you 3, 4, 5 days to recover from said bout of exercise? Or is it taking you 1 to 2 days to recover from said bout of exercise? Sleep duration and how much you might need is really dependent on when is your body's clock naturally waking you up, and when are you naturally starting to feel tired, and how good do you feel? Like what's the feedback you're getting from your time of sleep throughout the day in terms of how much energy you have operating at work or in the gym, how fast you're recovering, and how alert you feel throughout the day. So depends on individual needs, but we always recommend 7 to 9 hours, and building out your lifestyle or building out your schedule so that works for you. So knowing what time you're going to work, and knowing what time you normally get home from work, and what time you normally put the kids to bed, and what time you have your dinner, and trying to structure those things so that it gives you enough time to plan for 7 to 9 hours of sleep. That being said, let's move on to circadian rhythm, your internal clock that regulates sleep wake cycles. It helps synchronize your sleep patterns with the natural light dark cycle. Why is the circadian rhythm and a baseline understanding of it important? Because we need to understand that both our diet as well as our sleeping patterns are influenced by light and dark. So right now in Los Angeles, daylight savings, it's starting to get dark around 4:30. And what will naturally happen, as long as I'm not exposing myself to too much blue light or not exposing myself to too much light, is I'll start to feel tired a little bit earlier in the day. I'll start to get feel like I'm more ready for bed a little bit earlier in the day, and because of that, I'll likely tend to go to sleep a little bit earlier. And if light is coming out a little bit earlier in the day than it normally would, then when that light shines through the window, my body's naturally going to start to rise up. Your eyes don't have to be open to make contact with it. Just any type of sunlight or light influence on your body, on your skin, on your eyelids can have a potentially positive or negative impact on your circadian rhythm and your sleep wake cycles. So you just need to be aware of before bed, how much light exposure you're getting. When you first wake up in the morning, how much light exposure you're getting, whether it's from natural or artificial lights. These are things you need to start to consider to improve your overall sleep health. Number 3, sleep quality. The quality of sleep is as important as the duration. Factors that can affect sleep quality include sleep disorders, stress, noise, temperature, and discomfort. So first and foremost, this is where I start to recommend to people to really consider buying a Whoop watch or a Aura ring or something, or get a Sleep 8. I think it's called Sleep 8 bed. Anything that can track your night of sleep, how long you're staying asleep, how many times you wake up throughout the night, how many times you wake up to pee, how many times you're rolling and shuffling and not in deep sleep, how long you are in deep sleep, how long you're in REM sleep, and being able to look at that data and get a better understanding of how quality your sleep is. Now, if you don't have access to that, you're not willing to invest in that, it's okay. Go back to biofeedback. How are you feeling? How awake are you feeling? How alert are you feeling upon waking? When are you getting tired? When are you losing energy throughout the day? How much brain fog are you having? Things of that nature. But you need to consider biofeedback, um, stress levels, recovery, things of that nature to kind of understand how high level, yeah, what word am I on? How high quality your night of sleep was. So paying attention to how much stress you're having right before bed. Trying not to maybe read emails or read texts from work right before bed, because if you're stressed and you have an elevated heart rate due to some type of distress, it can impact your sleep quality. You need to pay attention to having the TV on in the background before bed, or a radio or a podcast, because this can influence your sleep quality, might wake you up, or you may not notice that you woke up, but a sound did alert you, and now you're no longer in deep sleep or no longer getting the quality rest you could be. Temperature, making sure you're not in a super duper hot room, having to throw the covers off, put them back on, throw them off, put them back on, so on and so forth. Making sure you're not in a place that's 33 degrees and freezing cold, and no amount of covers is keeping you warm, but finding the right temperature that your body feels comfortable at. Making sure you have comfortable pillows, making sure you have nice sheets, things that aren't itchy, making sure you have a decent bed that's not, 20 years old. But you need to consider these things, your sleep environment, and how it impacts your sleep quality. Moving on to number 4, sleep debt. Sleep debt. Consistently not getting enough sleep can accumulate a sleep debt. It can only be repaid by obtaining adequate sleep over an extended period. This is really, I really just put this on here because so many people think that if they got 3 hours last night and then they get 12 hours today, that they made up like their sleep debt, not considering all the sleep debt that's built up throughout, the month of shitty sleep, right? It can't be fixed by sleeping 12 hours the next day, but it can be only repaid by obtaining adequate sleep over an extended period of time. And so this means, going to bed at the right time, waking up at an adequate time and at the right time for a longer period of time, extended period of time, is the only way to repay sleep debt. 2 days of sleeping till 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. isn't going to do it. Trust me. Go check the research. I don't care how you say you feel. I'm not saying you shouldn't get that sleep. I'm just saying that it's not exactly repaid, and not exactly the type of lifestyle or habit or routine you want to get into. Staying out late, sleeping till 12 p.m., staying out late, sleeping till 1 p.m. Then, work week starts, and so you go to sleep a little bit earlier and wake up at 5 a.m. Like you want to have a consistent sleep schedule. Number 5, napping. Short naps can provide a temporary boost in alertness and productivity, but long or late naps can interfere with nighttime sleep. So essentially, there's a lot of research that has come out about this. Try to keep your naps between 20 and 25 minutes. Maybe 30 minutes could be the longest, but set an alarm to wake you up. I'm going to close my eyes right now, and I want this alarm to go off in 25 minutes. Wake up, keep it at that. Try not to nap too close to bedtime. I'd say give it about 6 to 8 hours away from bedtime. So if you normally go to bed at 9 p.m., maybe don't take a nap at 5 p.m. It's probably not ideal for your nighttime sleep. Either way, hope you found this video helpful, or at least stimulated some thought around sleep and made you think about, hey, am I getting enough sleep? Is my sleep quality there? How's my sleep environment? Am I creating a solid nighttime routine? Am I getting enough sleep based on average adult needs? Am I napping too close to bed? And hopefully you think about these things and you make some adjustments in your day-to-day lifestyle. And if you have any further questions, or you want to explore a deeper conversation around sleep, please drop a comment or just message me directly on Instagram. or you can DM me on any platform. Email me at coachstutzer@gmail.com. This is a 10-minute video on the 5 keys to a good night's sleep. Thank you for watching, and we'll chat again soon.